Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre. Welcome to Redskins Talk TV. Just want to bring you up to date on my post-game analysis. Now, the game was over a couple hours ago. I was messing around, so I didn't get a chance to make the video immediately. But I wanted to talk about some key points. Now, we had a good game today. I don't want to speak too highly about today because we played against a piss-poor team. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to diss Jacksonville Jaguars. They just didn't have what it took to match our intensity, especially in our own home opener. So we really flexed ourselves today. But our true test comes next week with the Eagles, and I'll talk about the keys to trying to win that game on Wednesday or Thursday. But for today's game, let me just break down as far as with the offense. Offense started pretty good, making some good plays, some good runs. RG3 was looking pretty smooth in the pocket. On one play, he rolled out. Defender almost had him, and he came up to evade. Came down awkward. When I looked at the video closely, looks like his ankle had twisted out. So he was injured off on the sideline, dislocated ankle. So I'm guessing he's probably going to be out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Hope for a speedy recovery. He's still my guy at quarterback. I think he can win. People just expect a quick victory, but I'm not going to really rehash over that because the football season is young and one loss and motherfuckers are hitting the panic button, which is not really Redskin-like. That's some shit that the Cowboys fans do here in Texas. When one loss, they feel like that determines the entire season. So Kirk Cousins came in and did an outstanding job. First pass, 20-yard touchdown pass to Darrell Young. Looked very comfortable in the pocket. Couple of times where still you're seeing Tyler Columbus and Chris Chester kind of get bullied around, especially Tyler Columbus because, like I said, he did draw the assignment of blocking Red Grant, who's a big-ass lineman. But overall, offensive line played well. Open holes really, really good for Alfred Morris. I would like to have seen him get a few more runs. I'm the kind of person I like to see Alfred Morris hit 100 yards every game, not for the sake of winning the NFL rushing champion, but I just want him to get that momentum because as the game goes on, he gets stronger and stronger, and defenders will get tired of tackling him, especially when he's able to chip away at that defense and continue to get those long yardage to where we can continue to get those first downs. We lost Deshaun Jackson, hurt shoulder, so he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, I'm guessing, but looking forward to him coming back. Everyone stepped in. Niles Paul had a pretty good game. Andre Roberts, he really stepped up. Pierre Garçon, he didn't really get thrown to that much. A lot of teams are starting to put a lot of coverage with the safety over top of him because of what he can do. Really tough once he gets the ball into his hands and he turns up the field. Ryan Grant, number 14, he's really starting to show some playmaking ability. Only thing with him that I really have a gripe with, this trend where wide receivers, they get the ball and then run backwards before running forward. That really pisses me the hell off because it's about getting the reception and then getting that yak yardage, the yards after the catch. And when they're going backwards, that doesn't help the team. Making a beeline for the first down is what I want them to do. Even if they play bigger than what they actually are, try to run over a fucking defensive back or whoever is coming at you to tackle, but get that positive yardage. Overall, offense looked really good. Kirk Cousins, I know a lot of people are going to, start thinking about this quarterback controversy because he came in and played well against a bad team, but, we'll see because the judgment is still out until he plays a really solid team, which next week with the Eagles, we'll see. Now, defense really showed the ass. I mean, the defensive line and linebackers just harassed Chad Henne all game long, and I was very proud of that. Almost one near touchdown with D'Angelo Hall was a bit on the double move because he was peeking in the backfield. Fortunately for him, the wide receiver dropped the ball. Otherwise, that would have been a long touchdown. Another long touchdown, the only touchdown of the game for them. Bakari Rambo, again, took a bad angle, whiffed on it, got on the sidelines, tried to run back, couldn't get there in time. Once again, after that, they did sit him. Now, Jim Haslett did say that it wasn't entirely his fault, but he was the guy right there. So, yes, he wouldn't have gotten benched if it wasn't entirely his fault. I don't know what it's going to take for him to get into that film room and really, really study and work on his technique. That's something that Raheem Moore is really going to have to buckle down with him, because he is a liability. I mean, the only player on defense that makes me cringe more than Bakari Rambo is number 30, E.J. Biggers. And I don't even want to get into that, because every time he's on the field, my nuts just hurtle up. I can't stand to see him on the field. And Bakari Rambo, I'm starting to worry a lot about him too. So I don't see him having a long career with the Redskins the way he plays. Overall, defense really did good. 10 sacks on Chad Henne, tied a team record. And then, of course, special teams. Andre Roberts, I really love that they have him as a returner. Had a few, returns where he ran out of bounds, but for the most part, he gets up the field, had one long run. A lot of things that we do suffer from still are some of the penalties. We had a couple of those, so it's just those mental errors and dumb mistakes that are made. We got to trim back on those, because we need to be able to get that positive yardage instead of, making a good gain and then finding ourselves having to redo shit over again. But overall, this was a much needed win. I'm not going to really boast. Because once again, it was a terrible team that we won against. I mean, for a team that was up 17-0 at halftime last week and then lost 34-17, really can't put too much stock into the Jacksonville Jaguars. So their fans should be embarrassed. But at the same time, what we did to them, just scoring almost at will, do see we could have had that positive momentum. Kirk Cousins had a good streak going with his reception to completion ratio. Pass to completion ratio. And then when it would have been more prudent to run the ball, they decided to pass. Fortunately, there were no turnovers. But overall, this is a really good game. So looking forward to playing the Eagles next. I'm going to make my video Wednesday or Thursday once again. But if you like this video, go ahead and chime in, leave your comments. And to my Redskins family, hail to the Redskins. Peace.